This one is coming from Ask Reddit as well. The title for this one was Serious. What is your scariest I survived story? One of the comments on this thread says, 5 years ago, I had just moved in an apartment with my 18-year-old daughter and 15-year-old son. I was separated and had the full custody. I caught a cold with a nagging cough and started having a fever on top of it. I went to see my family doctor who did an influenza test and gave me antibiotics and codeine cough syrup to help. Next day, the influenza results came back negative, so I start the antibiotics. 2 days later, I called my big sister during the evening to wish her a happy birthday. We talked for a while, then I went to bed. I woke up 10 days later, hooked up to a breathing machine, my hands tied to the bed, not knowing where I was nor what happened. When I woke up, in my mind, I was in Rio de Janeiro in a facility where they were keeping me alive just to be able to sell my organs. I was in shock and tried to free myself, but I couldn't. I was thinking about my kids that would be left without a mother. I was constantly in and out of consciousness, but couldn't make the difference between my dream and the reality. The nurses never thought of telling me their names or telling me where I was and what had happened to me. It was really terrifying because the people in my dreams were the same people that were taking care of me. After a while, I got better and was told that after I went to sleep 10 days prior, I didn't wake up in the morning, and it's my 18-year-old daughter who found me, barely breathing in the afternoon. She called the ambulance and they had to push oxygen into my lungs to make me breathe. I had a virulent double pneumonia. At the hospital, they had to put me into a coma, hook me into a breathing machine, and transfer me to an intensive care unit. They didn't know if I was going to make it or not. They even asked my ex-husband to call the family as they had a hard time to control my fever. I eventually figured out where I was, but not before yanking out the tube I had been hooked up to for the breathing machine. Then I was able to talk and ask questions, but I remained paranoid for a couple of days. I finally got out of the hospital 3 days after I woke up from my coma and made a full recovery.
Nobody thinks the flu is a big deal. Nobody thinks COVID is a big deal until it is.
It's so terrifying for anybody who's been in a coma and then wakes up a period of time later. Like for you,
shocking.
When you wake up, it's the next day.
Yeah.
Or you're not sure when you fell asleep. And it could be days or months later.
That is terrifying.
Absolutely terrifying.
And to be like sick on top of it. Like you don't know whether to be grateful or not. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yes, you woke up, but you didn't know you were sick.
Exactly.
That's terrifying.